Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich says the federal government is so bloated, automatic budget cuts might actually be a good thing. And on another front, Gingrich is out this morning with a blistering critique of top strategists in his own party. Speaker Gingrich is with us now from Chicago. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
You have said that billionaires and strategists should not be picking candidates and that they may have too much influence. Who are you talking about, and what did you mean?
Well, look, I was very specifically saying that in a newsletter people can get at gingrichproductions.com, that the idea Karl Rove has of creating some super PAC to go out and basically pick Republican Senate nominees, for example, is a terrible idea. We don't want to become a party in which a handful of political bosses gather up money from billionaires in order to destroy the candidates they don't like, and that's what we're talking about. When you get involved in these kind of primary fights, it's almost all negative advertising, and it's all by outsiders. I think this is a very dangerous model. The fact is, last year, we lost 9 U.S. Senate races that we could have won. There's some very deep rethinking we need to do as a party, but it isn't gathering up more money by Washington consultants for them to try to handpick across all 50 states the people they think should be in the U.S. Senate.
But are you also critical of the Koch brothers and the amount of money they spent in the 2012 election?
I'm not critical of people who get involved in the process between the two parties. If you're in a general election and both sides have access to a lot of resources, if you direct your resources against the other party, I'm very critical of the idea that you're going to start seeing people, and you see it, by the way, right here in Chicago, where Mayor Bloomberg of New York is spending millions of dollars to try to influence the Democratic primary here. There's something wrong. We need a campaign reform that really does allow the candidates to raise the money directly so the candidates can spend the money. And the rise of all these super PACs, I think, frankly, is very dangerous to the long-term health of our society.
I want Gail to get in here for just a moment, but you also are critical of the running of the 2012 campaign because you say they were not nearly as sophisticated in the techniques they used in understanding America and how to reach America.
Sure. Look, I think this is a very core problem of the Republican Party, and I decided to speak out because I do think Chairman Reince Priebus has moved us in the right direction by beginning to raise these questions. But I think a lot of our consultants are frankly just kidding themselves about how big the gap is. The Obama campaign today is about 8 years or 10 years ahead of the Republican Party in very fundamental effort to understand the country. This is a country which is in many ways younger, more Latino, more Asian American, more African American than Republican strategists are capable of dealing with. And as a result, in many ways, we're beginning to be non-competitive at the presidential level. We're doing great with governors. We have 30 governors with 315 electoral votes, but we're not doing well at the presidential level.
And what do you hope will come of your criticism? Are you hoping that they will engage you in conversation?
Look, I hope, first of all, that major donors will think long and hard before they turn lots of money over to consultants who lost 9 Senate races last year that we could have won. And I hope, second, that the entire party will come to a conclusion that the Republican Party has to be capable of competing in all of America, in reaching out to every part of the American society, and in providing better solutions than the Democrats provide. You can't just be an opposition party. You have to be a party that has a better alternative to attract people to your side. This is what I did in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and I'm back doing the same thing again. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I think it's a very important role for us, an argument for us to have inside the party.
Okay, before you go, you're in Chicago. You're with David Axelrod at the University of Chicago, who called you the godfather of gridlock. What do you say, Newt Gingrich, to people that see you as a guy who really set up this culture of gridlock that we're still in?
I say we passed welfare reform, which was the largest conservative social reform in your lifetime. We passed 4 consecutive balanced budgets. We got an awful lot done.
Speaker.
We were very tough, but we also got a lot done.
To be discussed at a further date.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning from Chicago.
Good to be with you.